Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Ritual Flow. For today's reading, we're doing a spirit reading for the sign of Pisces. If you are a Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, there may be some messages here for you. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is a general reading, not everything will resonate with everyone, and this is timeless as well. Whenever you're seeing it is the right time for you to see it. Let's get into it. Spirit, what messages do you have for the Pisces collective regarding their soul's path at this time? Alright, you got 10 of Cups, 7 of Cups, Page of Swords coming out straight away, 2 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, okay, Judgment, the Tower, 3 of Swords. Let me get 2 more, please. Those ones. Okay. We've got the Star and Strength. Underneath, you've got the Lovers and the Hanged Man. Okay, Pisces. So, you want to, more than anything, I mean, this makes sense for Pisces. No, I'm thinking in that way. You really want a happy ending. You want to feel emotionally fulfilled. You want to have a family. You want happiness, joy to come from that familial connection. And there's this feeling of obstacles to that. I'm getting this energy that for some of you, and I hate that I'm doing this on Pisces because that's like such a classic, like, that's such a classic, like stereotype for like Pisces on the lower energetic side, but like that's that's the message that comes through, so I gotta say it. So for some of you, there are some issues to address concerning some sort of substance use with regards to the ideal, like, long-term future that you see for yourself. Whether, this doesn't have to necessarily be with, alcohol or drug use or something of that nature. It could be, though. It could be other things in your life, other sort of vices, habits that you have of getting in the way, looking at things in an overly materialistic perspective for some of you. It's this big energy of addiction, like even like an array of like options for addiction, like getting in the way of your like happy future that you envision. And Spirit is saying it's time for you to develop a new perspective on your life, how you think, how you make decisions, how you choose the action that you take, like how you make your choice, how you approach making choices in your life. You're wanting to be more focused on love, more focused on positivity, on the possibilities of creating something like happy and wholesome, that's like not hindered or mired by this like element of negativity, of dependency. You're literally needing to create a new foundation for yourself, a tangible new beginning of some kind. This could literally mean like cutting these things out of your life. But I'm getting there, those things are always going to be like in the back of the mind as a temptation. But it's really like you have to change your thought patterns, the way you approach how you decide what to do with your time and energy, with your body specifically. Someone is or has been at risk of damaging their heart from some sort of habit they have. For some, it's substances. For some, it's like the diet, the food that you're relying on. But this path that you're on, it is a path that you wanted to experience when you entered this life. This is the path that your soul is guiding you down. You may, with all of these temptations, these like concerns that are very off base for the future that you envision. That was part of the process. That's part of the challenge that you sought to overcome in this experience. And there is going to be a sort of pivotal, earth-shattering moment that is going to change this course for you. It's going to lessen the weight of these temptations and strengthen, your own strength, your sense of courage, your own sense of hope and faith in yourself to create this 10 of Cups that you are desiring. And it's like something about your life as you know it is going to have to come crashing down. For some of you, it could just be one little piece. For others, it could literally be the whole thing. But understand that that's only temporary. For some of you that I was picking up on earlier, like you like may literally end up having a heart attack or some sort of complication from your previous behaviors that's going to completely change your perspective because you survive that and you heal from it. And that puts you in a different place to look at things differently, to make different decisions moving forward where your future is concerned. Things that are more in alignment with your soul, in alignment with your divine essence. For others of you, this could be a relationship coming to an end. For most of you, that would be romantic. For some of you, it would be a familial relationship. That's how it's going to manifest for some of you, that through that loss, you see that the choices you made, the feeding, the temptation, the staying stuck in that old cycle, those old patterns, we're going to literally interrupt, make impossible your vision for the future. And that moving forward on the other side of that, making different decisions, staying hopeful, you have an opportunity to bring that love back into your life. For some of you, it would be the same person, seeing the evidence, the physical evidence of the changes that you've made, and welcoming you back into their life. Or for others, this would be a new, more aligned opportunity in the future. Results may vary. Okay, so let's see. What the oracle has to say. Platypus, stop complaining and focus your attention on the blessings in your life. Yeah. This was really giving that energy of having a lot of things to complain about. And using those substances, using those vices as a means of falsely trying to create a distraction from your complaints. But in reality, that was just giving more fuel for things to complain about, creating imbalances in your body chemistry, imbalances in your relationships with the people around you. Definitely having more of a positive focus is an important key. You have to have that, to have this hope, to have this faith, to have courage, to step in to something new and different from how you have been conducting your life. Focusing on the blessings that you want to create, the 10 of Cups there, instead of all the different things that are bad and hindering parts of your life. Okay, I'm just feeling like we're supposed to go with this one. Okay. Manatee, accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. Yeah, you have to accept that something about the way you're making choices, the actions that you're taking, is getting in your own way. And rather than complaining about it and taking more actions that are more of a hindrance, like, just accept it for what it is. Accept that, you've got some things to do differently, but trying to force it with that same energy is going to just like reinforce the same pattern within you, like falling back to old crutches, I'm hearing. Walrus, remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs, omens, let them dictate your choices. Yeah, so I'm with Judgment here, like you probably have been receiving a lot of communication about the decisions you're making, the actions that you've been taking. And you may still have trouble like seeing them up until this Tower moment occurs. But then after things sort of like reach that low point for you, whatever that looks like, pay attention to your surroundings, to any messages that are coming in, because they're going to be like little clues, like sources of encouragement, like hints at opportunities to see things differently and make a better decision than perhaps you would have in the past. And that's because like your guides, your angels will be coaching you, because like they're always there. They've been there the whole time. It's just, when you're inundated in this sort of energy, you don't have the awareness necessarily of yourself and your situation to properly receive those messages. You're being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you're capable of doing so, and let go of your fear and know that you're safe and protected at all times. Yeah, I think a lot of these decisions that have been happening for you, they're just sort of like automatic, are based in like fearful thinking. Thinking like, oh, well, things are this bad, I'm going to do something else that's, not necessarily good for me to like make myself feel better about it. But that's really just like a fear-based mechanism of the mind. It's like doing something that feels like familiar and safe and protective, in order to sort of like keep that fear at bay. But it really just creates more like digging yourself deeper in the mud to like get stuck in that while you're trying. It's like getting out of it. Like it's a positive feedback loop. Am I using that correctly? Like a negative feedback loop would like work towards stopping. Anyway, whatever. I'm not an expert on feedback loops, apparently, but that's something about that there for someone who is. You're being called to provide leadership, so trust you're capable of doing so. Yeah, this is being called on like to be a leader in your own life, to play the main character, to play the main role, and pull yourself out of the situation that you have in many ways created for yourself. We're not always purely responsible for ending up in the situation we end up in this life. We carry energies with us from the past as well. But, regardless of what you brought in here, it's your responsibility to deal with what you've got on your plate and to lead the way for your soul towards something better. And, I'm really feeling this energy of, in doing so, you are setting an example for other people in your life to come with a similar energy. Because like that 10 of Cups, like that's a shared energy. That's like you being a leader of your emotions, leading your life into like happiness, bliss, joy. And you share that with other people who are meeting you on that wavelength. Let's see what Pisces needs to surrender. Okay. We got surrender to spirit, surrender to the drama coming out. Okay, so a couple things here. You know, that energy about like complaining and feeding whatever, you know, your addictions might be. Like the mind sort of feeds on that drama. That's why, you know, once you're in a habit of complaining, you tend to find yourself doing it all the time. And it's time to let that habit go, to work on like decluttering your life of, you know, substances, materials, whatever these things are that are you're finding reason to complain. Like strip everything down, return to your center. And that's like a pure place to start from. And I mean, that really speaks to like surrendering to spirit as well. Like that's where your spirit lies, like at the heart of you. It's the driver of everything that you're doing when you allow it to be. But you've clearly been in a position of letting the mind be the master of your spirit. And it's time to surrender the mind to the will of your spirit. Like that's where this element of like hope and faith comes in. Like trusting that this all means something, that this is the right path, that it's safe to let go of these crutches that you've held on to, of the habit of complaining, the habit of looking at things negatively. And trust that when you change that perspective, when you look at things differently, when you look at the positive side of things, that it's going to create different results for you that are tangible and real and feel balanced and authentic, aligned, connected. Okay, at the bottom, we have surrender to trust and surrender to negative thinking. And surrender to divine timing. That feels relevant as well. I mean, I was already talking about like trusting that, you know, this is available to you, and that you don't need to hinge on these, you know, negative feelings. And like literally underneath that was surrender negative thinking. Like that's really a big element of what like keeps you bound to whatever your vices are, keeps you reliant on those for feeling some sort of emotional stability that, you know, is actually like actively destabilizing you. And surrender to divine timing. That, you know, that leaning on other things to find your balance like that are actually taking you further out of balance. That's another element of your ego trying to fix things, to make things right. Like, you know, when you had a bad day and it's just a bunch of stuff to complain about, like coming home and having a drink or, you know, whatever, as a way to like escape from that or like decompress. And then it turns into like, you know, an all night thing and it's like Tuesday or whatever. Like that's problematic for you creating this long-term happiness. Like drowning the misery that you perceive in something, essentially. But yeah, there's whenever this Tower moment occurs, there is an element of divine timing occurring there, and you just gotta to fall into it. That's another area to not fight, because you can't change the Tower from happening. It happens when it's supposed to, and it creates the changes it needs to. Yeah. Okay. What other messages? That was like a third of the deck. Calm down. What messages do you have for Pisces? Transform, rise above any situation, and become the best version of you. That's literally like, that's literally what's going on here. Like what Spirit is asking you to do is to transform the habits that are preventing you from the future that you want to see, preventing you from following your soul's path, to like transform your mind, like literally who you are, from like a low vibrational version to a higher vibrational, more spiritually guided form. And I almost said like elephant earlier instead of like some other word that I actually said. So an elephant might be a special animal for someone, a special sign for someone that needs that. Dream, have a cup of tea in the garden and find yourself in a good book. I don't know about that. I don't think you need any more opportunities for escape right now, Pisces. I feel like the message is more in the dream. Maybe actually, you know, having the cup of tea, getting in nature might be a good idea. Maybe skip the book for now, unless it's like a like self-help sort of book about how to like transform your life. And my point is like, don't get distracted. Like, don't use like fictional literature as another like crutch to escape from the realities of your life that you are tasked with, basically. To, you know, Pisces, like you're a big dreamer, but you've maybe lost touch with that in your dealings with reality. But this is a sign, like it's okay to dream, like it's okay to have this dream of the 10 of Cups, and that it can be something that you attain. But you have to go through this transformation, and don't tolerate less than you deserve. You know, that energy that, and there's move on the bottom. Change. As with the falling leaves, embrace change. A rolling stone gathers no moss. Like you have to accept that staying in a low spot, in a low energy, and having, you know, destructive habits for yourself is less than you deserve, and to honor yourself enough to no longer tolerate that, to want more for yourself and more for the other people who interact with you, and to take action based on that, to make the changes necessary in your mindset and how you conduct your life in order to have the beautiful sense of completeness, of harmony, of emotional fullness that you want your life to have. Because that Seven of Cups energy, this platypus energy, is an energy of focusing on everything that's going wrong and using other things to sort of put a band-aid over it temporarily. Indulging in our vices is a temporary solution to stave off addressing the real root of what's going on with us most of the time. Okay. So I hope this reading resonated with you and that you found it helpful in some way. And I wish you the best of luck. If this spoke to you, please give it a like, comment down below, share with someone you think may need to hear it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I will see you next week. Bye.